along with Mayor Randall Woodfin. And this was where, after this rally, again, it was very peaceful. That was at 4:00. Things got a little bit hairy in Birmingham after that rally. So at that rally, comedian Jermaine Funny Mane Johnson took the podium and said everybody should meet him at 7:30 at Lynn Park, where there is a Confederate monument statue, and at the time where the statue stood, and he was calling for it to be removed. So after that rally ended about 6:30, about 7:30, about an hour later, people started to flock to Lynn Park, which is in downtown Birmingham between Birmingham City Hall and the Jefferson County Courthouse. So people started to flock to that area. And while Jermaine Funny Mane Johnson was there, he said he didn't have a plan on taking down the monument. He just wanted people to show up with their ideas. And that's where things started to escalate, and people began to vandalize the statue along with several other monuments and statues across Lynn Park. And people were spray painting those. They were taking different instruments such as shovels, chisels, screwdrivers, even an electric drill to the main Confederate monument, which was about 52 feet high, that stood at the front of Lynn Park. Somebody even tied a rope around it and tried to have a truck pull it away. So after this, after a few hours of this, Mayor Randall Woodfin showed up, asked people to leave, said he would handle the removal of the Confederate monument. And shortly after that, police showed up and made people leave Lynn Park. After that, there are several people. When I mean several, I mean it was a very large group that then took to the streets of downtown Birmingham and began setting fires, vandalizing businesses, looting businesses, breaking windows, and even attacking members of the media. That happened Sunday night in Birmingham. After this ended into the late night, early morning hours, Monday was when people were wondering if Randall Woodfin really would get that Confederate monument down. So on Monday night, after the curfew went into effect at 7 p.m., there were people from the city that got out there and started removing that monument. We do have live coverage of that on our page in the live video section. You can see our own Ian Hoppy was out there and took hours of video, which show the removal of that monument. So that happened Monday night. Tuesday, the cornerstone, also Tuesday night, the cornerstone of that monument, that very bottom part, was also removed. And sorry, my basset hound has decided to break into my room if you see the door opening. So then on Wednesday, there was no part of the monument left. He has decided to go elsewhere. I guess he doesn't want to listen to me. So the Wednesday, there is no monument. Now, Tuesday night is when Hoover and Homewood also saw protests in their city. Now, those were peaceful protests. There were several arrested in Hoover that stayed past the county curfew, but again, they were peaceful. So Thursday, which was yesterday, hard to believe, I know, there were unsubstantiated rumors about different groups coming to the city of Birmingham and having maybe violent gatherings. Now, there were no confirmed reports of these groups. There were no confirmed incredible tips about this, but a lot of people did believe that, and a lot of businesses shut down early. A lot of things were closed in downtown Birmingham. But what we saw, and I was there last night, we have also a live video from that last night in Birmingham, is that primarily things were peaceful in Lynn Park. There was a big gathering. Most people left when the curfew hit. There were several people that did stay and planned to be arrested. They told us that. They were arrested, and there was also a journalist, Michael Harriot of The Root, was also arrested on Sunday night in Birmingham. So let me answer some questions about Birmingham while I have y'all asking some of these. About the Birmingham lawsuit, yes, there will be, and there is a lawsuit against the city for taking down that monument. Now, Mayor Randall Woodfin has said that he is prepared to pay that fine, and he believes that fine for taking down the monument is a lot less of a risk than civil unrest. So yes, there is a lawsuit. Yes, Birmingham and the mayor is aware of that. So again, we've got some more links put in here by my wonderful producer, so y'all can read more about it. And y'all have other questions about the different Confederate monuments across Alabama. We're going to get to that into a second. So let's go to Mobile. Now, if you were up really early this morning, you saw our own Chris Harris had a video about 4 a.m. of the city removing its Confederate statue in downtown Mobile. And that happened without warning very early this morning. And Mayor Sandy Stimpson actually called the statue a, quote, distraction. And so no warning on that. It just came down. So that's what's been happening in Mobile. There were protests Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the city. They were mostly peaceful after a short-lived standoff between police and protesters on Sunday night. Now, that Confederate monument that is now gone as of this morning. Monday, that sandstone base of it was vandalized. Tuesday, the city cleaned it up. So again, we didn't get any warning that that was coming down, but luckily our own Chris Harris happened to be out early that morning. I'm not going to ask why. And he captured that for us on video. So go check that out as well. Now, we've got getting questions about will there be a lawsuit for the city of Mobile. I would assume so, because Alabama does have the law about monument preservation. I'm sorry, I'm having to keep my basset from barking here and howling next to me. Nobody wants that. So we haven't heard anything about that yet, but there will be. It is fair to assume that that is coming. Now, getting some other questions about what was inside of the memorial. Now that. Somebody said memorial, but the monument in Birmingham, there has been different statements made that there is some sort of time capsule in that Birmingham monument. Now, when it was removed, we don't know where it went, and we don't know where it is currently located. The mayor did not disclose its location. And we also don't know what happened to that time capsule if it exists in that monument. Now, we do know that there were supposedly Confederate artifacts that were in that capsule. I do know that experts have said if those artifacts were not properly sealed, then they could have disintegrated over time that's been there, the 115 years that it has been there. So we are waiting to see on that. We'll let you know when we get more info, but we just don't have it yet. Questions about Birmingham, about the George Floyd mural. Yes, there is a mural of George Floyd downtown outside of one of the businesses that actually was damaged on Sunday night. Yes, it was vandalized. There was an X put over Mr. Floyd's face. And yes, that has been fixed. There has been an artist that has gone back over it and took off the X. So just to answer some of those questions, thank you for all the support y'all are giving us about the media, including myself that was attacked on Sunday night. We appreciate all of your support. Everybody is doing well. Both our social media specialist who was attacked and also a TV reporter who was also attacked as well. Both of them, and they're wonderful men, and they are both doing well. So thank y'all for asking. Now, let's talk about Huntsville. Lots going on in Huntsville as well. Now, tear gas, pepper spray, rubber bullets, flashbangs, those were all used by the Madison County Sheriff's Office at a Wednesday night protest. Now, according to our reporters in Huntsville that were there, this was a nonviolent march. The permit that this group had expired at 6:30, but hundreds of people stayed after that. Now, a little bit after 7 is when there was a nonviolent standoff between protesters and police. And that is when officers began to release tear gas into the crowd. Now, there was also another protest similar to this one on Monday, and that also ended with tear gas. Sorry again for I'm moving, y'all. I'm trying to keep my hound here from having a breakdown. He does not care about my show, obviously. So that is some things that have been happening in Huntsville. We do have also live coverage of that. We've gotten a lot of this on live video this week, and those are all saved. If you go on Facebook and go on the tab to the left, I believe, there's a live video tab, and there's where you can find our coverage of all these different protests that we've been at and the things that we captured live. Thank you all for your comments about staying safe. Excuse me, that's a tongue twister. We absolutely will. We are going out in groups, and we are watching each other's backs and fronts and everything else. So we appreciate your concern. We are doing our best to stay safe. Brad wants to show the dog. He's a big boy, so I don't know. We'll see if we can get him in by the end of the show. I think everybody could probably benefit from a nice basset hound by the end of the day, but I'll try. Now, we have questions about, again, this rumor of the KKK group showing up in Birmingham yesterday. Again, that we had no substantiated reports of that. There were no confirmations of that. Yes, a lot of businesses did shut down early. Yes, UAB shut down parts of its campus and its facilities early. But again, no confirmations of that. And the protests that me and my colleague Carol Robinson went to on Thursday night, again, my days are just mixed up. On Thursday night in Birmingham last night was peaceful. It did end with several arrests, but it should be noted that the majority of those people arrested, they showed up very soon to the curfew time, and they told us directly that they planned to be arrested, and that was their whole purpose of coming. So there were several of those people, about a handful, that were arrested, and then along with journalist Michael Harriet as well. And Mr. Harriet is of The Root, if you're familiar, and he was also arrested. So looking through some of your comments about, are there more protests going on this weekend? We have not heard any reports that I'm aware of different plans for this weekend. These things are ever evolving, and news changes quickly, as most of you know, and the plans of these protests change quickly as well. So we're keeping it updated. We will let you know what goes on this weekend. We do have teams of reporters ready to cover anything that happens. So we will have coverage of that, Joel. Now I'm looking again through some of your comments. Yes, there was a flag burned in Birmingham on Sunday night. That kind of started the situation where there were windows breaking, looting. The violence started around that time as well, when there was a flag burned. Now, again, getting a lot of questions too about the curfew. Jefferson County does have a curfew until that's starting at 7 p.m. So that is what is happening there. Everybody wants to see Grant. He is having a day. I tell you, it's also been a week for Grant. He has not gotten apparently enough sleep. I agree with him. So looking through some of y'all's comments to make sure that we've got all of it. I know, Harry, you want to know what's in that time capsule, don't we all? We do know that it is said to be Confederate artifacts in there, but we don't have any confirmation of that. We don't have any confirmation of it being found or anything like that. Again, if it was not sealed properly when it was put up about 115 years ago, then it could have all disintegrated, but that is to be determined. We're going to see. We don't know where that monument is. The mayor has not disclosed that. And the mayor also in Mobile, Mayor Sandy Stimpson, he's also not disclosed where that monument that was taken down this morning, he's not disclosed where that monument has gone. And he has not actually disclosed if that monument will be back or if it is permanently removed or anything like that. He did not give a lot of information about that. Now, if y'all have any more questions, let me know. I'm running through here and make sure that I have gotten to everybody. We have extensive coverage of the lawsuit that happened against the city of Birmingham, between the city of Birmingham, I should say, and the state several years ago about the Confederate monument in Lynn Park, when and that is what ended in that plywood box being erected around the base of it. We do have extensive coverage of that. We can give you a link to that if you would like to keep up with the legal history. So I covered that because I was a courts reporter at the time and did a lot of dives in on that. Linda, no, I was not hurt on Sunday night. I appreciate you asking, and our colleagues are recovering and doing a great job, and they so much appreciate all of your support. I know they do. So thank you for everything. And again, some of the questions about the threat made against Mayor Woodfin. There was a man arrested on Wednesday night, and that man has been charged with making a threat to the mayor. We do have that story on AL.com, also with quotes from that 911 call that some of you may have heard that is a threatening call. So we have some of that on our website on AL.com. That was a story Carol Robinson and I got out for you yesterday. Hearing, again, some rumors about different protests. We're trying to confirm those and see if they're happening and things like that. So I am going to, let's see if I can get Grant up here to give you a farewell for your weekend. He's not going to be real happy with me, but we can try. Okay, Grant is going to tell you bye for the weekend. We appreciate you, and I know Grant appreciates it as well. Hope my bosses don't get mad at me for this, but it's Friday. We all needed a little love here from Grant. So why is he named Grant, Kathy? When we got him, I was actually on a Downton Abbey kick, and so he is named after Lord Grantham. So my husband was not thrilled with that name, but you know how it goes. So thank y'all so much for watching. Grant, thanks to you as well. And we will see you next week.